What the fuck?
Hello and welcome to Taste Like Tea, a podcast about me. My name is Theo. Don't call me Ted. This is a second take. I didn't mean to delete my first take actually, but some dude pulled up in a white truck and I got distracted and forgot what I was talking about, and I'm like, I'll just start it over. But then I realized that those 3 minutes were useful words that I could have just not have repeated. It's fine. It's a hot day out where I am today. Hotter than the last time I recorded, but I'm still sitting in the car. A little bit different though. I am sitting in the back seat. Which normally I'm sitting in the driver's seat jib-jabbing, but today I noticed that my back seat doesn't get blasted with as much sunlight, so here I am. I also never have been able to fully extend my legs in the car, so this is a really nice feeling. Normally I have it like bent slightly, you know, where like your leg is kind of extended, but you could extend it further to get a good stretch in, but it just doesn't go any further. So to be able to get a stretch in is really nice. That white truck that pulled up, he thinks that the building I'm parked next to is still an active business, and he just tried to walk into a abandoned building. I'm curious if he's going to come over here and ask me, but even if he did, he's still the fucking prick who parked in a handicap spot thinking that it was an active business that has a handicap spot. So, you know, good thing he can't get his vapes. Funny too, people always are like, hey, you know where we can get the weed? And I'm like, I'm not fucking telling you. Google it. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about more double features. My last episode was a double feature, plus Dress to Kill, which in hindsight I shouldn't have done. I should have just had the shorter episode and just kind of lived with it. But I felt the need to slip in that extra film. I really don't know why, but God damn it. You know, you gotta love it. It's the Garden State, but all it is asphalt and diesel trucks. I feel like that's all there is in this fucking state, dude. I'm friends with someone on Letterboxd who is like an absolute patriot, like New Jersey lover. She like, I'm like, I can't believe you like this state so much. She's like, I love it. Like, unfathomable to me. If you're hearing this and you know who you are, I respect you to hell, alright? Because maybe you like that type, because I'm pretty sure you live in a little bit more of an urban area than I do. But when I think of New Jersey, I kind of like to think of woods and valleys and way too many lawns when there could be gardens, you know? Unfortunately, it's also just highways and people driving on those highways. I don't know why any of this is relevant. It's not. I guess I'm just kind of trying to do like a pregame jib-jab. Not trying to do it, I'm just talking. This dude hasn't driven away yet. Imagine if this was an active business and he just stayed parked in this fucking handicap spot. Like, what a prick. There's like a bunch of parking spots around me. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about some films today, as per usual. I think it's probably better that I announce that I'm going to be doing that, because considering I did a book and I probably will be doing another book in the future, maybe I should specify what medium I'm going to be speaking about at the beginning of the episode. Apparently 4 minutes in. So, just long enough for me to get that download number, you know. I'm done with you. You can leave unless you're interested. But, do as you do. Ugh. Maybe I should close the windows. Or just like put them up a little bit. 1 second. Alright. That is much better. I don't know if it's going to get obnoxiously hot in here, but I do have windows open. Just nowhere near as many. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about some films today, and it's going to be at least 2, but I'm shooting for 4. It can't be 3, unfortunately. It can't be 3. I have because today is me trying to talk about 2 different double features. I say that now, but considering I'm 30 minutes later than I normally start, it's a good chance I might just be able to only get the other double feature in. If that's the case, and I can only get 1 double feature in for this episode, I am going to upload the other double feature episode on the same exact day. I kind of just... I don't hate the idea of like, yeah, I can get a couple episodes ahead, but at the same time, I don't... I record enough to where I don't need to necessarily worry about that at the moment. So, it'll keep things a little tighter. It'll keep episodes a lot easily organized, and it's a little less chaotic, I guess, right? anythingbutted@gmail.com. If you want to reach out to me, I have an email. Tastes Like Tea is taken, so anythingbutted@gmail.com is where you can reach me. It's the name of my YouTube channel if you care. That you can find my podcast on there, but it is primarily like video games. And I have a short film up there that I would love for people to check out too, because I am really proud of it. So if somebody wants to go to, Anything But Ted, or, email me, I'll send you the link, because I feel like that's a hard... For some reason, I'm convinced that's like, I'm like not in the system. Obviously I am, but I just don't really know. But yeah, you can contact me, questions, comments, concerns, insults. I prefer no insults, but I mean, it's a free world, and the fact that I'm giving you the open opportunity to email me privately is probably just an invite for that anyway. Yeah, we're talking about some films today. We're talking about a double feature. Specifically, I watched a Harmony Korine double feature. Normally I like to stick to themes rather than like specific directors or writers or anything like that. But that's mostly just an excuse to say something's a double feature. Like, I don't know, can I pull a weird example? I mean, Terminator to Lady Terminator, like that's not a sequel, it's not the same director, it's the same movie. I feel like there's definitely other ones. I love drawing an arbitrary line, and it's not even intentional. Like, I think when I watched Bullet Ballet, what did I watch right before Bullet Ballet? It was actually like a really good pairing. It was like the dichotomy of suicidal thoughts and like experiencing loss. Like, it was a really cool double feature. But that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Is I'm not normally like, yeah, I'm gonna watch 2 Harmony Korine films, because generally I don't want to do that. But I watched one, and then I went, I might as well watch the other, because they're both relatively short, and I'm already in the headspace of Korine anyway. So yeah, I watched 2 of his films last week. Not necessarily the most... well, one of them is very popular, but I started off with Aggro Drift from... What year is that? 2023? Yeah, 2023's Aggro Drift. The I is a number 1. And Dude, that guy in the fucking truck is still parked in that fucking handicap spot, bro. Just go away. I would love to park in that spot. It's such a preferred spot, but because it's marked handicap, even though it's for a closed down business, I'm still not comfortable parking in it because I'm still staring at the handicap sign when I do that. So I watched Aggro Drift, and what is Aggro Drift about? It doesn't really matter, honestly. So how do I start off with this one? Aggro Drift is a film that is entirely shot with a thermal lens. I don't want to say infrared because infrared is different. Infrared is like that scene from Dune Part 2 or that porno that I can't remember the name of. Like, infrared is different. Infrared reads temperature, but it doesn't have the color spectrum that this film has. And I don't know if there's an actual difference. Maybe it's just two different forms of thermal or infrared. But this is specifically the color spectrum thermal vision. Like, red is hot, blue is cold, that kind of shit. It's not just like the brightest whites are hot and then the darkest blacks are cold. It's not that black and white. But the film is, it's short, first of all. It's like, 77 minutes, I think it was. It's a really short film. It doesn't necessarily feel like it, but I feel like that's just a classic Harmony Korine kind of thing. Not because they're bad, but because they're built to feel endless. I think that's an actual thing. I'm pretty sure that... I don't know anything about the guy other than that. There's that one quote that says, you can't have a true story without a lot of pain in it, or something like... Or it doesn't feel real unless it contains pain. I think ever since I read that quote from Harmony Korine, I actually have been a little bit more interested in seeking out his films, because I outright am afraid of kids. Both the film and just the film. But I read the screenplay recently, and it was really intense, and I listened to multiple podcasts about it to kind of and I know so much about kids, but for some reason I still don't want to press play on it because I don't know how I'm going to react to that opening scene. I don't know if it's going to be worth watching it strictly because I don't know how I'm going to feel about that opening scene. Or the closing scene, for that matter. The double rape, if you want to call it that. Actually, I do want to call it that. So that's not what I'm talking about, though, and that's not even technically directed by Harmony Korine. So I'm talking about Aggro Drift, and I don't fully understand why he made Aggro Drift, right? So I'm not talking about Baby Invasion as my second, for the double feature, although Aggro Drift and Baby Invasion are definitely two sides of the same coin. So kind of a lot of what I'm going to say about Aggro Drift kind of goes for Baby Invasion, but not entirely, because that film is pain incarnate. Aggro Drift, as mentioned, it's filmed entirely in the thermal vision. Basically, you're just watching the Predator make a movie. And it's based in Miami. So it's fucking hot and everything is orange and red except for the sky. Because I guess for thermals, the absence of a heat source bouncing off is the same as there being a cold source. Well, I guess cold is just the lack of heat. I always mix that up. Is cold is either a lack of heat or heat is a lack of cold. It's one of the two. You know, I'm pretty sure it's heat or cold is the lack of heat. But aggro drift is, I mean, I'm really bad at telling like plots of stories to begin with, but this one is just really kind of arbitrary. It's not really, but it feels that way just with how it's shot and how it feels. So the plot is basically there is a hitman who commits murders. And the twist is that he does it for his family. He's a family man that lives in Miami. He is a well-respected man in his family, and everyone loves him. But his income comes from murdering people. And, you know, he's pretty good at it, it seems. The fact that he's... I shouldn't say he's good at it. That you don't even really see his skills as a killer. That's just the plot of the film. Like, you see him do some kills, but the film is more or less just like a benchmark test for early AI video effects. And that goes for Baby Invasion too, but this one is just really... I think I like it less than Baby Invasion, and Baby Invasion did it worse. Because, like, there's the, sorry, I'm so brain dead. This is the one downside of doing this after work, right? Is that I'm sitting here in a hot car on a 90-degree day after waking up early, going to work, and then immediately coming out and going, yeah, let me just talk about movies enthusiastically by myself for an hour. I just set myself up for brain deadness, and I think, you know, that's an authenticity part of the show, but at the same time, I would love to be able to complete a thought without going, you know? So, aggro drift, as mentioned, the plot is really shaky. It does follow a man who is a hitman, and it does follow that hitman taking out a target. The target is like some weird angel bald man who humps swords in the air. And the main character, which the fuck is his name? It's like Rocco or something. Bo, I didn't even realize that was his name until I checked Letterboxd. They probably say their names in the film, but I wasn't paying attention to that. I did not pick up on that at all. But Bo is very much like the devil incarnate, or the dealer of death, or it's doing something like that, because while he is still just like a suburban hitman, he also can like summon the devil from the sky and do something with like he can like summon a mask to like hover over his head, but the mask looks like a fucking Snapchat filter. Like it floats there in its crappy 3D render, and it's really weird. Like, I don't understand its existence at all. Well, the floating head thing, the demon in the sky is cool. Because like I said, the whole film is in thermal vision. So, like, skies are dark blue because there's no heat reflecting off of it. So there's this really hard contrast shift between, like, the hot pavement and, like, the ground of Florida to the sky that's not reflecting any heat whatsoever. And it creates a very nice, like, I mean, realistically, it's just retro wave, right? It's It's vaporwave vibes of just like pinks and blues and purples and kind of unnaturally placed in natural settings to kind of elevate the world a little bit, but in like a retro way. It's so like there's transition scenes where a car is driving and it looks really cool. It looks like something out of like Tron or something like that, but it's also uneventful and slow because almost all of the film feels like transitional shots. I feel like I'm totally butchering this. I don't know what I'm talking about, but right. So I guess, like I said, the main reason this film exists is for visuals. I really liked the demon in the sky. I thought it looked cool. I really liked the thermal vision. I think it was well implemented. I think it's shot really well. Like, of all the things to really think about with this film, and, you know, going against what John Waters says, the cinematography was amazing. And it's crazy because, like, the infrared takes away so much detail. It's just colors. It's just flat colors, not even guesstimating, but like showing just like a staggering temperature change between things. But there is a real sense of detail because it's not just a thermal lens. It's like a really good thermal lens, or it's like added on top of a regular lens. So it just looks really good. So like some of the coolest bits is the main character, the guy on the poster, because it's thermal visions with this dude wearing really weird urban like combat gear, and like he's walking around in a ski mask, but it's ski masks that expose the skin around the eyes. So to the thermals, his eyes are glowing orange while like his mask is black, and where he breathes is like fluctuating orange and black because of just, you know, temperatures when you're breathing through a cloth. Like, it's really awesome to look at. And the fact that the camera can pull such great detail, like there are close-ups that start off really mushy looking and like flat, but you start to see like hair follicles and like drips of sweat and just really tight details that I wouldn't expect to come out of a thermal lens. So that's like the best part about it, is how it looks. And being that it's only 77 minutes and you probably don't need to have the volume up very high, it's worth the watch. There is AI stuff in it, and I think that's where, I mean, it's weird. When AI is used in films, people hate it. People, like Late Night with the Devil, almost every non-positive review almost just exclusively harps on the fact that it uses AI-generated images. And trust me, I am anti-AI when it comes to art. I think that if you're a company that uses AI-generated art to sell products, you're pathetic, weak, and incapable of doing your job correctly. Because you can, you know, spend like $15, go on Fiverr, and hire an artist to do the same exact thing. But when it comes to like filmmaking, at least on certain levels, I think it's acceptable. And I shouldn't say it like that. That's really annoying. Because that's not even true the way I'm thinking about it. Because if I watch an entirely AI written film, I'm not gonna watch it. I don't even want to bother watching that Disney movie Wish because of people speculating that it was written by AI. Because I just don't want to deal with it. Like, it's not worth it. There's some stuff that can probably be worth it, but that overall is not. Why am I talking about this? I don't goddamn know. Right, because Agrodrift uses AI. And Harmony Korine used AI more than once. And I don't think I've read a single review under either of those films that complains about the AI. At least not in the way that people have in the past of like denouncing the films outright because of it. Because the film is basically an excuse to experiment with the AI. It's just... So, other than the floating head in the sky, or not the floating head in the sky, so the whole time that this film is playing, there's visuals of, there's just constant visuals. It's all shot in infrared, or it's all shot in thermals, all that stuff. But there's also a layer of video effects added over it that I don't fully understand the reason for. I'm trying to think of a reason for it right now, but I don't know any reason. It confuses me why it exists the way it does. There's some visuals in it that look really cool. Why am I beating around the bush? Because I don't know how to describe it. I think the only way I have figured out how to describe it, and I've said it to multiple people this way, and I've written it down in my review this way, it does this thing that, if you've ever watched a video that says, like, this is what it feels like to trip out on acid, and it's a video of, like, someone walking through the forest, and textures kind of, like, overlapping each other unnaturally, and, like, twisting and swirling, and just and it's not that exact effect that this film does, but that's the best way I can describe it. Other than that, there's this part where Travis Scott is in it, which I don't understand why, but Travis Scott is in it. I think honestly because he had cool hair, and he wanted to shoot Travis Scott's hair in thermals, because it has a really interesting effect, the way his body heat transfers through his braids. Christ. But it does this thing where it, like, draws little squiggles, and I guess the other way I could describe it is it's very much like early AI effects. If you remember the original video of, like, Will Smith eating spaghetti, it has a similar glitchiness to it, where it's just these, like, ripples in textures that are unnatural. They don't move with the frames, and they don't attach precisely to certain objects. They'll leak into other things because the AI is just too dumb to know that the end of a jaw and the beginning of a wall are two different things. And the cool part about it, when it's not just like, why the fuck is it doing this? The cool part about that effect is when it, like, wraps around people's heads, because it doesn't just make a weird texture on someone's head. It actually forms to their skull, and it does this cool thing where it just almost looks like a robot head. It's just drawn over the face of these people, filmed in thermal. It's just another layer of visual intricacy that is confusing and weird, and probably the reason the film exists. But, and I'm gonna try not to harp on this for too long, because I could totally get into, like, a whole hour conversation just about this. Harmony Korine should be fucking making video games. I don't know what he's doing making these films, Baby Invasion and Aggro Drift. They're very clearly him doing stuff that video games should be doing. He could make Aggro Drift into a video game, like just a basic third-person shooter, and it would be so good. Because what is a third-person shooter? It's walk into a room, shoot people from behind cover, walk into the next room, listen to some people talk. That's this film, except a video game would have more action because it's more fun. You could do these kinds of effects. You can be this abstract and still feel real. And on top of that, the villains are really video gamey. Like, the final boss is quite literally like a heavy set bald man with angel wings that has like a face changing ability that turns into a demon. There's so much to this and Baby Invasion that just scream, I should be making video games. And, you know, it's hard to make video games now, and maybe that's why. I think, I want to say Harmony Korine is fairly well off at this point. He sells paintings, and, like, he's an artist. He's not just, like, a guy that makes movies occasionally. Like, the man is an artist, and he makes art. I just think that some of his art could be done in a different medium better with the same, if not more effective outcomes. And it could have been like an anti-game game, you know? Like, with Baby Invasion, my biggest complaint is that it felt like you were playing an NPC. What if Harmony Korine's video game made you play as an NPC? You know, like some super hot shit where it's like, you know, you think you're playing just an innocent thing, but what you're really doing is examining the thing you're doing yourself. There's a lot you can do if you put it in the video game medium, and I'm you know, I won't discount the films for not being video games, but just considering the energy that he has for this film and like what it did, it should have been a video game. One last note about Aggro Drift, because I just remembered it, and it kind of ties into a bunch of things I said earlier. The final kill is really awesome. The infrared both takes away detail and adds a bunch of detail. So all the fake effects just look super mega real through this lens, but it's also, because it's able to hide the fakeness, it doesn't pull away. So like, you see a full-on decapitation basically uncut, and it's just done really well because it's like, it doesn't need to be done well because visually speaking, it's, I don't know, I just lost my brain again. Too many noises outside, and now there's another dude talking to the dude parked in the handicap parking spot, and I'm all distracted. So yeah, the final kill is really awesome, and it really shows that violence could look really great through an infrared lens, and it'll look super gut-wrenching too because of the detail it takes away. Makes you consider it a lot more impactful. Makes me think, at least. So, moving on. I just spent like 30 minutes on Aggro Drift, so it's looking like this is going to be a 1 episode per double feature thing, and that's probably preferred. But next up, I wasn't going to do it, but I was like, I don't know when else I'm going to do it. So I watched Trash Humpers, a very, very different film. But one thing I could say is that after watching these two films and like kind of picking up on some stuff in the past, Harmony Korine may not be as deep as I initially made him out to be. He, because the film, I watched Trash Humpers, right? It's a shot-on-video comedy film about, and believe it or not, people humping trash. And it does not shy away from that. Like, that is what the film is, and it was great. It's really funny and absurd, and the shot-on-video aspect makes the old man masks look really weird. They're adults dressed as old people, so they're wearing like cheaper versions of the bad grandpa makeup from Jackass. Like they're just wearing shoulder up masks of old people and running around humping trash and causing a ruckus. Christ. So this film, it's great. I mean, I don't think I have anything actually insightful about this film. It's a film that makes me realize that Harmony Korine can be more than just a guy that makes movies that fuck people up. Because, Gummo exists, and that fucked me up. And I'm like, shit, am I going to have to go through this every time I watch a Harmony Korine film? And just like Bugonia did for the guy that directed Bugonia, this film kind of lifted my irrational fear that everything that he makes is not exclusively really fucked and hard to work through. Because this film is literally old people humping trash. Harmony Korine does show up in it, but he's wearing an old man mask. I'm pretty sure he's the one that holds the camera most of the time, and he's the one that jumps out in front and starts saying, make it, don't. Wait, make it, don't. Make it, don't fake it. Right? Yeah, make it, don't fake it. And I don't really know what to do with this film, honestly. Like, I was actually really excited to go into this double feature talk, because I was like, yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot to say about Harmony Korine, but then I get to Trash Humpers, and I'm thinking about it, and, like, I had fun, that's important for a comedy. I think it's fascinating that it was probably 100% guerrilla filmmaking, which I feel like that's a really dumb way to put it, considering it's literally just a guy walking around with a camcorder and his friends. It seems more like a home movie than it is guerrilla filmmaking, but it, considering it's considered a full-fledged film, I think that is a thing. Oh no. A bumblebee just found the car. Yeah, go find flowers. Not me, please. I might be sweaty a little bit, but I'm not that. Oh god. Thing is, there's nothing that actually happens in Trash Humpers. Like, there is no plot. It's a film that is just 4 people dressed as old people going around humping things. And it's not exclusively trash, but it is mostly trash. And there's also these side characters that I wasn't too into. I really liked the Siamese twins. I thought they were kind of fun. But I was really disappointed with the other stuff. Felt like it was just kind of shoehorned in to fluff runtime. Because it's just like a man telling really offensive jokes unfunnily. And it gets funny to an extent only because it's not funny and he keeps going. Like, it's one of those kinds of things where it's like the jokes aren't funny. The humor itself isn't funny. But this guy is convinced that he's hilarious, and he does not stop, and the shot doesn't stop. Like, it's a very tedious scene that, was kind of a challenge to watch. And I think it could have just been more people humping trash for 10 more minutes. I think that would have gotten a better result. And that's the same that goes for... there's like a guitarist that talks about his dick constantly. And he was boring as shit. Like, I don't really understand his existence at all. Not that there's anything to understand. I keep saying I don't understand like it's going to change anything, but like understanding doesn't mean anything. I had fun with the film though. I mean, it's nowhere near as annoying as I was expecting it to be. I thought the make it, don't fake it thing was going to be like constant. But once it started happening, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was actually really fucking funny. Because it's just Harmony Korine doing like a really like hickish accent. Like he's really throwing his voice to really be like mega southern. He's like, make it, don't fake it. And he's making like funny noises. And he's being the chaotic crackhead that you'd expect to see running around Miami, but they're dressed in as old people, so it's just funnier. But the scenes of them actually humping trash are genuinely the best parts of the film. And not just because it's funny to see people humping trash cans, like really, and like filleting trees and shit like that. Like that shit's hilarious, but that's not why it's the best part of the film. And not exclusively why it's the best part of the film, because it's also, they're shot really, really well. Shout out to John Waters, you know, like the cinematography is just, it's good. Like Harmony Korine knows how to, block a shot. Like, my favorite shot in the entire film is there's 3 massive trees lined up right next to each other. One in I don't know the grounds names. There's the foreground, the background, and I don't know what the other one is. The one in the middle. But it's just 3 trees lined up, and all 3 people are just humping the trees. But it's framed so perfectly that I couldn't help but appreciate the shot. And I think that's really funny. It's comedy through quality filmmaking in a film about trash. It's an interesting experience for sure. Wow, I didn't expect. I feel like I can't talk about my feelings like that. I was about to say I think that I barely touched trash humpers while Aggro Drift got all the attention, but also thinking back, I'm pretty sure I just kind of stumbled my way through Aggro Drift, so I don't think it really matters either way. I think, do I have anything else to say about this before I say the words? It would really be about trash humpers, if anything. Make it, don't fake it. I really liked... I liked it. It wasn't amazing. I agree with the top review of on Letterboxd saying, like, you can give this any star rating, and I would agree with you. Because it really is, like, it's objectively one of the worst films ever made. There's no style, like, there's nothing to it other than people humping trash and saying the same thing over and over again. But it's also hilarious and annoyingly well made and considered. I don't know. It's worth watching though. It's nowhere near like Julian Donkey Boy when it comes to like impactfulness, but it's a joy to watch. Anythingbutted@gmail.com if you want to reach out. I'm calling it here, by the way. This is I'm stopping it at the double feature line, and my next episode is going to be probably my next double feature, which I don't know. I guess it's coming out on the same day anyway. It doesn't really matter that I quote unquote spoil it. Also, the episode names spoil it too. I don't care about spoilers anyway. My next episode is going to be a double feature of Wes Craven, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to expect at least one of those films. I can almost guarantee it. But until then, anythingbutted@gmail.com if you want to reach out. I am a person that exists, and human interaction is kind of cool. You can complain about my bad knowledge of things, my lack of vocabulary, my I don't know. Maybe you could bully me into going to sleep an hour earlier so I don't end up being brain dead. Maybe I should eat breakfast. There's a lot of things that we could talk about. Damn it, it's a Wawa receipt. I've been looking for my library receipt because I don't know when my books are due back. So anyway, I don't know, man. What is this episode supposed to be? Like, am I reviewing these films? Am I just talking about it? I mean, that's why I call it Tastes Like Tea, because it's about me, and I have no guarantee that anything I talk about is going to be understandable in any way, shape, or form. I barely remember what I spoke about, and that's part of why I repeat things constantly. I don't know. I guess if I am gonna be a reviewer in this situation, both are worth watching. Agrodrift is worth skipping, and you can watch it on mute and get the same experience because the plot can basically be told through body language. And Trash Humpers, I think, is totally worth seeking out. I think that's maybe not a must, but if you're looking for 80 minutes of trash, it's a good 80 minutes of trash. Actually, I think it's less. It's 74 minutes. It's an hour and 14 minutes long. So it's worth checking out. anythingbutted@gmail.com. You've been listening to Taste Like Tea, a podcast about me. I am me, and me is tea. You can never get that shit right.